Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Political Expert here again. So, I've been doing a couple mock drafts, and I decided to step away from the total amount of the mock draft. I feel like the third one was probably the best one, and I think I'm going to finalize that one. And then we'll just, I might throw a flyer with the fourth mock draft, but I think I'm going to do it a week before the draft happens. That way, I kind of get my finalization. It'll probably be almost the same thing. So you guys can take a look at it. And then I was thinking about doing a live version or just me doing a reaction of the entire draft. Hit me up if you guys want to watch that. Let me know. And then we'll go from there. This video is mainly about the number 21, the second round, third round, fourth round, whatever else we have. This is just mainly a Detroit Lions draft to me. Who I think we should draft on the offense and who we should draft on the defense. The funny thing is like when you watch all like the NFL Network and ESPN or listen to any podcast, fantasy, sports, if you're not listening to any Detroit stations or 97.1 The Ticket, the Detroit radio, there's really no talk. There really isn't. The Lions, lovable Lions, they just don't get talked about enough. They don't get talked about at all in my book. And, as a fan, it really irritates me when you try to listen to content and you listen to like fantasy sports and they talk about your team for like 2 seconds, but then they talk about like the Bears and the Vikings and the Green Bay. They could talk for like almost an hour talking about your team, but when it comes to Lions, it's like very small. Like no one really wants to talk about them. But Cleveland, they lose games all year, but they get talked about constantly. So it's tough being a Lions fan to listen to what's going on in the news. But anyways, so I took a list of Detroit draft picks that I would love to see them draft. I took a selection of defense and a selection of offense. I'm going to go through the defense first because there's a little bit more players because this is such a defensive-heavy draft. I have Zach Cunningham, linebacker. I think we can get him with the second round. Unless he falls in the first round or late in the second round, early in the second round, to where we can't pick him up, which would suck. But he is a fill-in slot of a linebacker need that we need. We let go of Levy, or Levy, whatever you guys want to call him. I call him Levy sometimes. Sometimes I say Levy. I don't know why, but it's Levy. Cunningham, I think Bob Quinn has a plan to fill that linebacker spot, so I think we might take him day 2. Or even day 3, he might slip to us. Or we could just trade up for another pick in the second round, so who knows. But I do have Zach Cunningham there. Haason Reddick, I really like Haason Reddick. He's a big guy. He's fast. I would love to see him on the opposite side of Ansah. It would be a scary moment. It would really be if Haason is as fast as he is that he showed up in the combine. I would love to have Haason on my Detroit Lions, especially with Ziggy. It would be a major help to where he's not getting double covered, and it helps out the middle guys as well. Taco Charlton, Detroit's looked at him heavily. I think it's between those two that we might take in the first round. I don't mind Taco. I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan. There was a lot of help on that defensive line for him to get, a lot of sacks and look productive. There was a lot of defensive help with him. So it would be a nice addition. Either one of these, Haason Reddick or Taco Charlton. I might do a separate video on the differences, the pros and cons of each player. But yeah, those will probably be, one of those picks will probably be the first picks of the Detroit Lions. Tre'Davious White. Now, I'm going to go into a couple corners here. I like Tre'Davious White. I do. I've been flip-flopping on certain cornerbacks, but I've seen a lot more tape of him. I didn't really know who he was. And I like his tape. He's a guy that you can fit in. He's more of a role player than he is a star. Slay needs help, and Tre'Davious can be that guy to help him out. Kevin King, another cornerback that's highly touted and scouted by the Detroit Lions. I don't even know what touted means. That was just stupid to me. Kevin King, I like Kevin King too. Not a lot of tape on him. He doesn't have a lot of stuff, but he is a zone guy, and we've been really hurtful on the zone. Man to man, it's a little iffy. That's the only problem. But he is a zone guy, and we could use a zone guy for real. Adoree Jackson. A lot of people are like, "Oh, he's the best. He's just really fast." Okay, he's really fast, and he could do a lot of punt returns, but he has a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of problems. He's very questionable. I wouldn't mind taking him, though, like in the second. No, you know what? If he's there in the third, he's worth the third-round pick. Second-round pick is a little questionable because he does need a lot of work, and we don't need another corner where you just need work. We need a guy to help out Slay immediately. Sidney Jones. I will not get off the Sidney Jones train. I don't care if he tore his Achilles or not. He's a good corner. If you take him in the third or the fourth round off of a flyer, this is a flyer pick, it will totally benefit us in the future. If that kid can come back and take a year off, where we tell him, hey man, listen, take a year off, get healthy, come back and be the number one guy, he could be the guy. Sidney Jones is that good. Watch his tape from college. It's ridiculous what he did. Unfortunately, he played in the Pac-12, so people are going to be like, oh, he played the Pac-12. There's no good wide receivers there. Hey, I think he's good. I like him. Caleb Brantley, defensive tackle, Florida. He is a hole plugger. Nagata is getting old. Halui Nada is getting a little older. We went out and we got Jordan Reed and Jordan Hill, sorry. Jordan Hill and Akeem Spence. It's very, very head-scratchy on what exactly Bob Quinn has planned, especially for Halui. I think we're going to let him go to create more cap space. So if you lose that guy, you need somebody to plug the holes. Caleb Brantley would be a good fourth-rounder pick. He can plug some serious holes. Charles Harris. Now, everyone's saying that Detroit might take him in the first round too if Taco and Hassan go. But I saw a few things and I liked him, and I just really questionable about this pick. I think this is the one pick that I would have a problem with Charles Harris. I mean, I don't know. He could be, he could be the next big thing. I wouldn't know. I'm not hating on the guy, but, to me, it's just, it's not a real, it's just like one of those picks you're like, this guy is like maybe a good first rounder. He's better of a second rounder pick. There's so many good defensive players out there, But if he comes to the Lions, I'm going to love him to death. But if he's garbage like Eric Ebron, you're never going to get the end of it from me. That's pretty much about defense for me. We can talk about more of the defense players if you want. But at the same time, I'm going to work on the offense. Now, I don't have a lot of offense because the offense is really tricky. And I was watching a few things on what we should do. I'm just going to come right out and say it. There is 2 running backs on this list that I want if we take. Number 1 is Joe Mixon, okay? I know he messed up. He's messed up bad. But this guy is a second-round flyer, okay? This guy is the real deal. He could be a bust, and I could be completely wrong. But we need to pull the trigger on a good running back, especially a running back that we so sincerely need. I love Theo. Theo is a good number 2. Abdullah, I respect you. I loved you. But you're another Javid Best. You just can't stay healthy. And Zach Zenner's same thing, we took a flyer on you, but you just can't stay healthy. Joe Mixon could be our guy. I'm not saying he's the next Adrian Peterson, but he could be somewhat better and a consistent run game. The other one is Alvin Kamara. The more and more I watch this guy's tapes, it's tremendous. I mean, he's really patient behind the line. He reminds me a lot of, I wouldn't say Le'Veon Bell. He's not really that good. He's not that good yet, but he's really patient and he takes his time finding holes, which is nice because we have a better O-line for him to sit back and watch the holes just get bigger for him to go. But Alvin Kamara is good. His combine was really good too. It was really interesting. He worked on his draft stock. Those are the only two running backs that I'm looking at. I have another one on here that I'll talk about too that are kind of like a flyer. The three wide receivers that I have. Sorry about that, guys. The three wide receivers that I have is Zay Jones. He's good. Isaiah Ford and Carlos Henderson. Now, these guys are all flyers. I'm not saying these are top-tier guys we gotta have. Just watch the combine. Isaiah Ford and Carlos Henderson are pretty nice looking. Now, people were like, oh, let's go get, Darbo and Cheston because they played for Michigan so we can cheer for them because they're Lions now. I like them, but they're a little slow. They can't really break away from corners. Cheston is nice and tall, but I think Carlos Henderson is taller than him, and he had a better 40 time. Isaiah Ford, he's a little taller than Golden Tate, but he looks like him. He makes that nice, he's a good route runner. And then Zay Jones is just a mystery guy. I watched his combine. His combine was decent. I think he's the one that didn't drop a catch. I may be wrong. I was watching the tape. I think it was Zay Jones. In the combine, he didn't drop a ball. So, I mean, hey, that's a good flyer. The other running back that I'm looking at is Dante Foreman. Now, Dante Foreman's a little weird for me. He's the guy that you could possibly take in the 4th round if he drops because I think he's going to be one of the running backs that drops. But at the same time, I think Green Bay may be able to take him up in the 1st round or 2nd round because if Christian McCaffrey goes a little earlier and, the other two running backs go, I don't think Green Bay would take a flyer on Joe Mixon in the 1st round or the 2nd round. I think they would take Dante Foreman, but that's just a flyer out there that I was talking about. And then one of my last picks, listen, man, I'm a Michigan fan, but I do not believe in the Jake Brudock thing. I have Nathan Peterman. Now I know you guys are like, who? But Nathan Peterman was a decent quarterback. Check him out. He's good. He's got a strong arm. He's a pocket passer, which is a little different. I mean, as much as Matthew Stafford makes me want to pull my hair out once in a while. But like I said, I just threw a flyer in there, and I was like, you know what? Let me look at this. Let me watch a little bit more film of Nathan Peterman before I throw him out there. He made some decent throws. His problem is that he has, once he gets out of the pocket, it's kind of it's a 50-50 shot with him throwing the ball. But quarterback is not a really high need for us in this draft. So if we don't take one in this draft, I probably won't have a big problem with it. So, all right, guys. Sorry that video wasn't too exciting and it's a little long for what it was. But those are some of the guys that I'm kind of looking at for the Lions. Just like I said, I have a Twitter now. It's RealCast12. It's capital REALCAS 12. You could tweet me. Just hey. I believe, follow me, just let me know. I'll follow you guys back or, subscribe to me and I'll subscribe to you guys back. Just let me know what's going on. I like to keep the One Pride family a little closer. But yeah, just let me know what you guys want to do. If you guys want me to talk about certain players or, cons and pros and cons against each other. Or you guys just want me to do a full list on, who the Lions should take in the 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round, just let me know. But anyways, guys, I'm pretty much done here today. Thanks for guys for watching. Please subscribe and let me know what's going on in the world. Thanks, guys.